conflict always comes from within. Do you believe me when I say that? I know some of you are probably saying, come on, Stephen. There's always people out there that are going to bug you and get on your nerves or whatever. There's always someone out there that wants to hurt you. There's always someone out there that wants to, bum rush you and make your life miserable. Well, maybe there is, but you got to let them, don't you? You got to let them. Sometimes you think like, that person doesn't even bother me. They can talk all they want, but it doesn't bother me. So you might be responsible for any kind of stress that you have, or the things that might happen in your life that actually bug you. I was talking to a buddy today, David, and we were talking about that, about two people who have a conflict. And if you have a conflict with someone, that you use the 3-person triangle, right? So you look at their perception, you look at your own perception, and then you pretend there's someone else in the room. What would they think of you? What would you think of the other person? So you take in 3 perceptions. And a lot of times, like I was talking to a client just now, a lot of times you'll have, you'll be in an argument, or you'll be, sort of wondering, or maybe mad or whatever. And you're never thinking about yourself. Why? Like some people say, hey, it's against my principle. That's why I'm not going to do this or that or the other. And okay. Which principle? Well, everybody's got to be honest. Is that your principle? Well, yeah, it's one of them. Well, what are the other ones? And they're like, what do you mean? I don't, people should be nice. And I'm like, well, you don't know your principles. So it can't be against your principles. What is it really that it's against? Why are you really resisting? Why are you really pushing back against this other person? You don't like them, or it's a bad time in your life, or you're having issues, or whatever it is. So you know what I mean? So sometimes it's too easy to brush it off as the other person's fault. But in the end, if someone comes to you, even if they're malice or not, you have to allow them to upset you. Hello, Olga. You have to allow them to upset you, to have them upset you. Otherwise, they can't upset you. You've seen it before, where someone comes into your life and they're just being a jerk, and it just brushes right off. Like, doesn't even bother me. Why? Because they have no influence in your life. But other people who are in your life, your husband, your wife, your kids, or whoever, sometimes can really have an effect on you, because you're so familiar with who they are that you think like, maybe, you're so familiar with them that when something happens, it's just sort of like a disturbance, and you're not taking the full awareness of what's actually going on. So you might be unjustly tough on them, unjustly hard on them, unjustly rude to them without even thinking about it, because you're so familiar with them. And that's the hardest part, is when you're with the people you love, or the family. Morning, David. How you doing, brother? The ones that you love, or your family or friends, sometimes you're very short with them because you're looking at other priorities. Whereas those who are enjoying quality of life and on the moment, right? Morning, Frank. How you doing, brother? That are enjoying the quality of life. Quality of life means enjoying the moment, regardless of what you're doing. Are aware of everything that's happening in front of them. Look, we're all at fault of that. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be perfect. It's only about recognizing it, being conscious that it's actually happening. So when there's a conflict in your life, you always have to look within first. Why is there a conflict right now? This person is bugging the shit out of me. Why? Well, let's see. What's my perception? They're bugging me. Okay, what's their perception? They're being rude. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but that's your perception. What's a third-party perception? Third-party perception is maybe, Stephen, you're being a little bit short. You're not listening all the way through, and you're assuming you know what they're going to say, or you're assuming that they want something bad without even actually talking to them. Oh, wow. Can you do that to yourself? I can. It's tough sometimes, but I can. And I tell you what, the breakthroughs that I have with thoughts like that. Look, Lane and I have been partners now for going on 3 years. And I'm not going to lie to you. We have issues as well, just like everybody else. But man, we are really good at fishing them out and ensuring that we end these issues quickly through self-respect. What about people that represent your business and they're being rude, and it's a third-party perception they are rude? That's a management issue. That's a leadership issue, right? So how do you lead people that are being rude? Typically, people being rude, they're seeking attention, right? They're seeking some kind of what's the word? Come on, I'm looking for significance. That's it. They're looking for significance. Someone who's being rude wants to be someone who's the boss, seen as the leader, seen as someone who's in charge. So you want to give them significance. One of the 6 essential human needs. Look them up. Chloe Madonez. It's like, for instance, I was in a meeting one time in the UK, and I was the only American there. It was all, 60 Brits, maybe a few Spaniards. And there was a trainer, and he was looking around, and I was talking, and everybody was talking in the beginning, and I guess he heard my voice. And he said, I heard you're a soldier. I was like, well, yeah, I was a soldier. Oh, you were in a war too? Yes, I was in a war. And hey, greetings, Dirk. How you doing, man? Frankfurt am Main. Dankeschön. Grüß dich. And he said, yeah. I said, yeah, I'm a soldier. He goes, well, stand on the desk and tell us what you did. So I stood on the desk and told him what I did. And then I sat down. I was done. I felt significant. And he knew it, that I needed that at the time, because I was talking about my Army days. And he wanted to get it out of the way and say, look, okay, Steven's significant. Boom, there you go. Didn't hurt anybody. Didn't call anybody out. Wasn't rude to me. Just give me significance, and it was good. In a case like that, obviously counseling is key, Carrie, but also ask him, what is his perception? What does he think he's saying? And don't let him answer, just say, well, I'm being okay. They're just being jerks. Okay, why? I just get asking that question, why? And by the time, hey, Mark, how you doing, brother? Hey, Klaus, grüß dich. Usually by the time you get to 7 whys, you're going to have the answer. So the people are being rude to me. I'm not being rude to them. Why do you think they're being rude to you? Because they want something that's not feasible. I'm just doing a role play here. They want something that's not feasible. Why would they want something that's not feasible? Well, because they're unrealistic. Why do you think they're being unrealistic? I don't know. Well, there must be a reason. Well, I don't know. Maybe they got it somewhere else. So they got it somewhere else. Yeah. Why do you think they got it somewhere else and not with us? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a different company. They offer different things. But why would they? We have the same service. You see what I'm saying? You keep asking that why to the point where he'll run out of excuses, and he'll have to dig deeper and deeper and deeper until he realizes, maybe I am being a butthole. Maybe I am being a jerk. Maybe I am being rude. It's not enough to say they are the client. They're always right. They're the customer. They're always right. It's not enough. And if that doesn't work and they don't understand that, and if you give them significance by touting them publicly about how good they are in front of your team or whoever, then yeah, you have to have a counseling session with them. And then coaching is always key as well. And coaching is just a list of questions that you go through yourself. What are your challenges right now, man? What's going on with you? What's happening? You know, are you stressed? Are you frustrated? What's going on? Could be a private issue, a personal issue that you can't resolve, that they have to resolve, that you might have to give them time to resolve. Just giving them the opportunity to vent and to let it out can really, really help. Of course, Carrie. 5 whys is badass solving mess. It is. I like going to 7. Yes, indeed. I don't know who you are, Facebook user, but you have to allow StreamYard to come in so I can see your face. Anyway, so the perception on the outside is always different than the perception on the inside. But I guarantee you this: every conflict that you have, you're letting it happen. You're allowing it to happen, or you're contributing to it, or you're even initiating it. How's that sound? Oh, ouch! That could be an issue, right? Well, it's true. Think of every single, like, for instance, you come home and your wife yells at you. And you're like, what the heck? Why are you yelling at me? Right? So what's your perception? You come home, didn't do nothing, wife's yelling at you. What's her perception? She's home, she cooked, she cleaned, took care of the kids, picked them up from school, took them to horse riding or whatever. And you come home, plop your ass on the sofa. And she's like, what the hell? You see what I'm saying? You have to go both sides. She's like, I just did all this stuff all day. You don't even say hello. You don't even talk to me or whatever, you know? And you're like, I worked all day and I'm tired. Well, her perception is I busted my ass all day for you and the kids. And the least you could do is show me some attention, right? So something like that. You know, these are the kind of things where you want to take a step outside, look at your perception, look at their perception, and look at a third party's perception if they were in the room. If you're arguing with for instance, Carrie, if you're arguing with you're speaking with your employee, look at the perception of a third person who's watching you coach them or work through it with them. What would they think of you as a person? And I gotta admit, sometimes I'm a you know what they say in England, I'm a wanker. I can be a wanker sometimes. I can be short. I can be a little bit too direct. I can be insensitive because I'm distracted. And that's the key. Once I realize that, I change it. Right? It's literally a flip of a switch. When someone talks to you, put your damn phone down and listen. Right? And it's even harder when you're with your spouse, because it's like, yeah, what's up, baby? Yeah, okay. Put it down and listen. I do it too. My wife tells me, put it down and listen. So sometimes she has to tell me, sometimes I do it on my own, right? And sometimes I got to tell her, which she doesn't like. Right? But it's a deal you make with yourself to ensure that you're present in that very moment so that it doesn't go to conflict, so that you're not rising in conflict, right? It's something that came up today that I was talking to David with, and then it came up in a client call as well. So how do you see the conflict yourself? How do they see the conflict themselves? Yo, Tanker. And how does a third party see the conflict? outside of you and outside of them. That's a very good way to look at the situation and be honest with yourself. That's the hardest part. It's part of the HIT principles. You ask me what my principles are: honesty, integrity, transparency. Boom, done. I already know them. And so part of the honesty part, that's the hardest part, because it doesn't matter if you're honest with someone on the outside. It's about being honest with you. Being honest on the outside doesn't mean anything if you're not honest to yourself, right? Hello, Phoenix McCoy. How are you doing, brother? You see what I'm saying? If you can't be honest with yourself, and don't kid yourself. Mostly we're not. You're reacting out of a grudge. Are you honest that it's a grudge and then it's not right to act out of a grudge because you're only hurting yourself more than you're hurting the other person? You're acting out of frustration. Are you being honest about that? No. You want to vent. I get it. I got PTSD. I'm a veteran. I know how it is to freak the F out, right? It's not fair to anybody around me. And when I know that, I'll go outside and just cut the grass or scream or go to the gym and pound it out or whatever. It's no one else's fault. I allow the engagement or the conflict. I am in control of everything in my life. I dictate my own reality. My perception is mine. No one has to see it how I see it. And honestly, no one gives a damn how you see it, right? Unless they're asking. Okay? Whew. Get that one down down your neck today. How's that sound? But in the end, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be more aware. You're going to be more positive. You're going to be more positive. You're going to be positive, right? More positive. Is that a word? I don't know. And you're going to be open to what's going on around you, more conscious of the words and the people and the feelings and activities all around you. That's going to make you a better person, a better leader, a better partner. And it's going to improve that one thing that everybody looks for. You know what that is, right? Quality of life. Yeah. See you tomorrow.